This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, good morning, good evening. Welcome to the demo session of the exclusive training provided by Isha Training Solutions, that is JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins and BlazeMeter. My name is Chandra and I will be your trainer for this entire training session. I have 14 plus years of experience in performance engineering. Have worked on different tools like JMeter, LoadRunner, NewLoad, and observability tools like Dynatrace, AppDynamics, Datadog, Neuralink, etc. I have provided multiple batches of training, so you all are going to enjoy the training, I believe. So before we start the session or the training, basically, I wanted you to take through the topics which we are going to cover as part of this training so that you get a glimpse of what we are trying to learn over here. Clear, all of you? So before I start, few ground rules for the training. Each and every session is going to be recorded. Clear, all of you? Each and every session is going to be recorded and you all are going to have the lifetime access to the videos. And because the sessions are going to be recorded, I will request you all to be on mute during the session. However, whenever you have any query, any small query which you want to ask, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and ask your queries. Is it clear to all of you? Any queries, anyone? Before we start, any queries, anyone? Okay. So we'll start for the day. Let me start sharing my screen.
Excuse me, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, one small doubt, sir. To learn JMeter, sir, how much coding is involved here in JMeter?
Yeah, so that is a good question which I get most of the times from people. So you see the custom coding in JMeter, we have the custom coding which will be required in very rare cases. Okay, but to learn JMeter, you don't have to know coding. Having the knowledge on coding is definitely going to help, but it is not required whenever there are any complex scenarios, because JMeter has a feature that we can do custom coding also. So during that you will need it, but that will be in very rare cases. Okay, does that answer your query?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the training, like this is an exclusive training, guys. Along with JMeter, we are covering different topics as well. So first of all, we'll go through the training. This link has been shared with you all in the WhatsApp group, right? So you all have the access to this link. In this link, you will find the overview of the training, okay, and then the course curriculum. You have the entire course curriculum, whatever we are going to cover as part of this training. So you all can go through that. However, I will also take you through the course curriculum just to make you understand what we are going to cover as part of the training. So let us go through the topics which we are going to cover, guys. So before we start performance testing, so some of you might be aware of performance testing, some of you might not be aware of performance testing, some of you would have already worked on performance testing, some on some other tools, maybe you are interested to learn JMeter, right? So because we have to cater to all the different categories of trainees, we have curated the course in such a way that it benefits everyone, guys. Everyone is able to understand. So first of all, I'm going to cover about performance testing introduction. I'll give you the insights into performance testing so that whoever is not aware of performance testing also can understand, okay, these are the things which we do in performance testing. And then we will dive into JMeter. So first of all, we are going to see the introduction to performance testing, that is what is performance testing, why performance testing is required, what are the different types of performance tests we do, and then the common terminologies whatever we come across in performance testing, we are going to discuss them. Then guys, I'll tell you, like we have the software development life cycle, similarly we have the software testing life cycle, similarly performance testing is a branch of software testing, right? We'll discuss that in details. So performance testing also has a life cycle. We are going to discuss about the different phases of performance testing. We're going to discuss about the different phases of performance testing, and then what are the different activities which we carry out in those phases. So this will give you complete understanding about the activities which we are trying to do in the different phases of performance testing. Next, what is the entry criteria and what is the exit criteria for each and every phase? What is the entry criteria and exit criteria for each and every phase? And every phase is not a cakewalk, right? Every phase will have its own challenges. So we are going to discuss about the different challenges which we might encounter in performance testing. So this over here we'll cover about the introduction to performance testing. We will discuss about the different activities in the different phases of performance testing. Any queries? So there is a question that does it support Python language? Probably it will support with the help of different plugins, but the inbuilt core JMeter does not support. There are different scripting languages like Java, Groovy, then bin shell. So JMeter will support all those types of scripting languages. So I'll request you all to please provide your full name as well as your WhatsApp number in the chat, because we'll be sharing the different documents with you all. So I'll request you all, whoever has joined the training, I'll request you all to please type in your full name along with your WhatsApp number in the chat window. I repeat, I'll request you all to please put in your full name and your WhatsApp mobile number in the chat window. You can reply me privately also in the chat window. So that is up to you. Next, we'll go to then history of JMeter. So we'll see what is JMeter, right? Why JMeter was introduced? What are the different features of JMeter? What are the different protocols supported by JMeter? What is a protocol, anyone? Can anyone tell me what is a protocol?
Yeah, STTP, STTPS.
That
Uh,
is an example of protocol. Yes, you are right. What is a protocol basically?
A protocol is a set of rules for the client-server communication.
Perfect. It is a set of rules using which the client and server will communicate with each other, right? And the applications we are going to do the performance testing. They will be hosted on some servers, right? So basically, the different applications which we are going to test, they will be communicating, or basically they will be having different protocols. So we are going to see which all protocols are going to be supported by JMeter. Okay. Next, now JMeter is a performance testing tool based on Java, guys. Okay, it is based on Java, and also it is an open source performance testing tool. It is open source. Now to use any Java application, right, we need to have Java installed. So there are some prerequisites for JMeter installation. So we'll have to install Java. So we'll see the installation of Java, and then the environment variable setup for Java. For the Java programs to work correctly, we need to have the environment variables set up. So we'll see the prerequisites, whatever is required for JMeter installation. Then we are going to see the JMeter download, guys. How to download JMeter, how to install JMeter, and then how to launch JMeter on the Windows platform. Next, because we are going to do performance testing, because we are going to learn performance testing, there are few things which we must know, which we must understand, guys. Like we told, like protocol is a set of rules using which the client and server will interact with each other. So what will happen in real time? The client will send the request, the server will process the request and send the response back. Right, all of you? The client will send the request, the server will process the request and send back the response. So we'll have to deal with request, we'll have to deal with responses, right? So without going to JMeter, okay, without going to JMeter, I'll explain you the concept, like what all things are involved in a request, what all things are involved in a response, how the request goes, okay, what are the different types of request methods. So those all I'll explain you with the help of browser developer tool. Browser developer tool is very helpful, guys. Okay, so we are going to discuss that from performance testing point of view. Then HTTP HTML requests, what are embedded resources, then what is a transaction or an user action, then what are cookies, what is a cache, what is a user session. So these all topics also we are going to cover, because it is very much essential for you to know these when you are going to do performance testing. And then, as someone told about the example of a protocol, that is HTTP HTTPS, in most of the projects, guys, the applications which are given for performance testing are web applications. In most of the projects, the application which we get for performance testing are web applications. So the protocol involved in is HTTP and HTTPS. So we are going to basically understand clearly in details about HTTP HTTPS protocol. So in that we are going to see the details about the request, the details about the response, what are headers, what are the different types of request methods, and the different status codes. What is status codes? When the response comes back from the server, it comes with a status code. The status code helps us to understand whether it was a successful response or erroneous response. Have you all seen like one error, that is 500 internal server error, 503 service temporarily unavailable? So that 500, 503, 404 not found, so 404. So why do we have these different types of error codes, right? So they are basically the status codes. So what is the significance of different status codes? So that I'm also going to explain to you. So the status codes will help us to identify whether the response which we got is a successful response or erroneous response. Any queries, anyone till now? I'm not able to see your chat when I am presenting the screen. So if you have any queries, I'll request you all to please ask your questions.
Since we are testing the endpoints, so Swagger and Postman knowledge also required. And the second question is from let's say we are using BlazeMeter, and for testing in BlazeMeter we need to create JMX file. So anything from the Visual Studio also required.
Okay. So the first um, question which you mentioned, sorry, can you please come back with your first question?
Yes, sir. So I'm just asking about the knowledge of Swagger and Postman,
Yes,
since we're using
knowledge on
endpoint.
Swagger and Postman. Yes. So knowledge on Swagger and Postman is not required. because we are not only going to do API. See, when I'm talking about web application, it also consists of APIs. I agree with you. However, JMeter is going to record the requests for us. Okay, JMeter is going to record the requests for us. So in that case, we'll not need. And for API performance testing also, knowledge on Postman is not required, because when I will discuss about this HTTP HTTPS protocol, you will understand from there that what a request contains. Similarly, what the response contains. Having the knowledge on Swagger and Postman is definitely going to help, but it is not mandatory. Okay, that was your first question. Next, coming to BlazeMeter. So, have you worked on BlazeMeter?
Yeah, yes.
Yes. So BlazeMeter is again a licensed tool, right? So whenever you have to do the execution, you need the BlazeMeter license. The advent and in the backend, it uses the JMeter framework only. Okay. So BlazeMeter uses JMeter only in the backend, and the JMX file which you told about, that is basically the JMeter test script. JMX is the extension for the JMeter test script. So Visual Studio knowledge is not required. And Blaze, if you are working with BlazeMeter, then you must be knowing JMeter also, right? Or
Not exactly. Actually, our organization earlier using JMeter and now they're using BlazeMeter. So they, in BlazeMeter there is option to upload that upload that JMX file instead of endpoint. You can upload the JMX file and you can run that performance test. So that's why I
yes,
asked that.
yes. In the backend, yes, in the backend it will use BlazeMeter. Sorry, in the BlazeMeter uses JMeter in the backend. So basically, BlazeMeter helps the users to, it is a bit more user friendly, but again, it is a licensed tool. Okay, so it helps in configuring your test, it helps in executing your test, just to make your life easier. Okay, any other queries, anyone?
So, today, what are the topics you will cover, sir? Like these are, I think, coming session you'll cover like all these things, right?
Yes, yes, all the topics we are going to cover as part of the entire training. I'll cover first of all of the topics, then we are going to start with performance testing introduction.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, next. Then we are going to see about the 12 major elements of JMeter. Okay, what are the 12 major elements? What is their significance? How to use them? And then there is a very important element, that is the HTTPS test script recorder element. We are going to see its attributes, its significance, what are the best practices for using the test script recorder. Then there is a concept for proxy server setup using JMeter. So I'll clearly explain you why that is required for recording the scenarios, and then I'll show you how we can do the recording from different browsers. Okay, so all the sessions, guys, apart from, in the beginning we will have some theory sessions because you have to understand that, and after that every session will be practically demonstrated. Okay, every session is going to be practically demonstrated. Then we'll see how we can filter out our irrelevant requests or the embedded resources, those we are going to see. And JMeter, you will use a certificate, guys. I'll tell you the significance of the certificate during the session. So we'll see how to install the JMeter certificate on different browsers and how to generate the certificate, and then how to regenerate the certificate, those we are going to see. What are the best practices which we need to follow during the recording with JMeter, and then we'll go through the different directories in JMeter, the different files, the different folders. JMeter has some property files, so we are going to understand about the JMeter properties file. Then we have a plugin, JMeter plugin manager. So why that plugin manager is required? What is the benefit of using it? So we'll see that, and the installation and uninstallation of the plugin manager. Most important challenge is like people do not know how to identify the scenarios for performance testing. An application will have so many functional scenarios, right? But how we can identify the functional scenarios which will be in scope of performance testing. That is very much important. So we'll see that. Then we'll see the transaction flow documentation, why it is required. End-to-end scenarios we'll see for recording, then how to generate the test script in JMeter, and then how to enhance the above scenarios in JMeter. Whatever scenario you have recorded, how you are going to enhance those. What are the best practices for JMeter scripting and enhancement that we are going to see. Then we are going to understand two very important concepts, that is correlation and parameterization. They are very, very important, guys, correlation and parameterization. So why they are required. Then we'll see the regular expression in JMeter, real-time use cases for using the regular expression, and how to extract the dynamic value. So now you will not understand why we need dynamic values extraction, but during the session I'll explain you. Then there is one element, that is CSV dataset config. We'll see about the CSV dataset config. Then authorization tokens. So nowadays the applications use a lot of authorization tokens. So how the authorization tokens can be handled during JMeter, that we are going to see. Then we are also going to cover the web services test design. Okay, we are going to cover the web services test design, in which we'll see how you can do the test script development with APIs. Then we have the two JMeter elements, right, which I told, like 12 major elements are there. So what is the scope of JMeter elements? And we also have a concept known as variable in JMeter. So what is the scope of JMeter variable? Local variable, global variable. Then we are going to discuss about relative path and absolute path setup in JMeter. So these all things will help you to understand about JMeter scripting. Okay, these all topics will be covered as part of JMeter scripting. Then sometimes people get challenges in JMeter scripting. They tend to use some other tools. Like one example is BlazeMeter, as one of our trainee was also mentioning, in their organization BlazeMeter is getting used. So I'm going to also explain you about BlazeMeter. So I'll give you the introduction to BlazeMeter, and then we will see how we can do the test script development with BlazeMeter. Then nowadays we have the world of Kubernetes, Docker, microservices architecture, micro frontends. So I'll introduce them to you: microservices, Kubernetes, Dockers, and we'll see how we can do the test script development for microservices. So all these topics are related to our test script development. Any queries, anyone? Any queries, anyone?
Uh, Sir, this reporting, what you'll do, sir?
Test reporting.
Yeah, report, the performance report is once generate, right? That we have to send to client or someone manager, right? So what we are going to use for in JMeter?
Yes, I will come to that. So we have not gone to reporting yet. After execution, you will do reporting. We have only gone through test script development till now. Okay, we'll go to reporting. I'll answer your query. Okay. Next, any other queries, anyone? So,
Yeah, Chandra. So,
tell me.
will it be a project-based learning or only a JMeter learning?
It will be JMeter learning. For project, we have another training, exclusive training, JMeter real-time project. Okay, so real-time project with JMeter. And during this training, definitely we are going to develop the scripts, see the best practices, we'll do the enhancements. All these things will be happening in the real-time project. In addition, we will also do the other activities like test plan documentation, requirement gathering. So those all activities we will do practically. Apart from that, test script development, test execution, all the things are going to be covered in this training as well. So for
No,
the
sir.
other, yeah, tell me.
Sir, it's not clear, sir, what you're saying. So another training is there. You are saying there are two training courses.
See, for if you want to understand more about how a JMeter project can be delivered, right? You want to have real-time experience on working in a JMeter project. For that, we have a separate training. As part of this training, we are going to cover about JMeter, how to learn JMeter, how to do test script development, how to do test execution, how to do test reporting, all those things, and the integration of JMeter with different tools. Because if you do not know JMeter, you will not be able to deliver a project.
Yeah,
Clear?
clear, sir. Clear.
Yeah. Any other queries, anyone? So whoever has not provided you your full name and mobile number, WhatsApp number, I'll request you all to please put it in the chat window. Please type your full name and your mobile number. Next, text execution, guys. So we are going to understand about think time and pacing, and then very important concept, that is workload model design in performance testing. So that I'm going to clearly make you understand. People find it very challenging for workload model design, guys. Okay, so I'll clearly explain you. And remember, whatever topics I'm going to cover, whatever are the interview questions related to those topics, those also are, I am going to cover it simultaneously. Okay, whatever are the interview topics, interview questions, those I'm going to cover simultaneously. Test execution in non-GUI mode with best practices. So there are different modes in JMeter, like GUI mode, non-GUI mode, server mode, etc. We are going to see how to do the test execution in non-GUI mode. And there is a concept known as the Java heap size setting in JMeter, that also we are going to see. We are going to understand what is a test summarizer, what are its attributes, and how we can increase or decrease the summarizer time. Then how to stop a test which is in execution mode. Okay, and so how to stop the tests in non-GUI mode and GUI mode. Then there was a question for report, right? So JMeter has a feature to generate the test report. Okay, JMeter has a feature to generate the test report. So we'll see how to generate the HTML report in GUI mode. And then the test results are stored in a file known as JTL file, JMeter test log, guys. Okay, so we'll see the importance of that file, and then the test report or the HTML report which is generated by JMeter, how that is generated, how we can understand that report, how we can analyze that report, which are the key areas which we need to look into, and the timing which is generated in the report is in seconds. How can we, sorry, it is in milliseconds, how can we generate that in seconds? Okay, so those all things we are going to see. The next question which I got was how we can share the test report, right? So remember, it is not with JMeter, any tool you take, may it be Neoload, may it be Load Runner, so every tool generates a report, guys. It is not recommended, it is not recommended to share the default report which is produced by the tools. People do that, but I do not recommend that. You definitely generate the report, take the inputs from the report, take the data from the report, but prepare your own report, prepare your own performance test report. Also there would be project defined templates, right? So it is recommended to use the templates which has been defined by the project. If there is no template, please come up with your own template, get it reviewed with the project stakeholders, and prepare that report. But do not share directly the default report which is generated by the tools, because that will be very much into whoever understands JMeter or whoever understands load runner, they will be able to understand the report. But if you prepare the report on your own, obviously taking the data whatever is present in those default reports which are generated, it will help the customer understand in a more simple manner, and you are going to do a walkthrough of the report also with the customer. So does that answer your query, whoever had asked related to test reporting?
Yeah, sir, I got it. Sir, sir, anything like Cucumber report we can't do, sir, here also, like that
So
type of reporting.
so JMeter is a open source, you can do custom coding also. Okay, you can explore that part, whatever you want to do, you can explore that part, but that is not part as part of this training. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Then we have the JMeter functions. So functions helps us in achieving some objectives in a simple manner. We'll discuss that in details. So some things which you have to do custom coding. For example, I'll tell you. Let's say in a request, okay, in a request, the current timestamp is going to the server as a parameter. Now, when I have to do the execution, so many requests will be sent. So how do I basically send the current timestamp during runtime? It will be very difficult for me, right? So that is where you can do some custom coding. But instead of custom coding, what JMeter is providing us? JMeter functions. It is providing us some functions. Those functions will help us to do some operation. We'll see those functions. What are those functions? So some complex functionalities, some complex requirements will be able to achieve with JMeter functions. So that we are going to see, and then we'll see different types of JMeter functions. Along with that, there is one important function, that is the P function. So how we can parameterize our tests using the P function, that we are going to see, and how we can pass the arguments from the command line mode. So there are three modes I told you: the server mode, the GUI mode, non-GUI mode. Non-GUI mode is otherwise known as the command line interface mode, guys. How we can parameterize our tests, or how we can pass the arguments to our test from the command line mode, that we are going to see. Next is very very important concept you all must have heard about, master and slave concept. So we are going to see how to do configuration of master and slave concept, or how to do the distributed testing in JMeter. So that we are going to see. Then I'll tell you about the best practices, the prerequisites or the checklist for test execution and reporting. Then test execution with bandwidth throttling. So we get a question in the interviews whether we can do bandwidth throttling in JMeter. Can anyone tell me what is bandwidth throttling if you are aware? What is bandwidth throttling? Anyone? Any idea? Okay. So bandwidth throttling is nothing but variation of bandwidth, varying the bandwidth. Now next question, guys. If I have a 5G connection, I have a 4G connection, I have a 3G connection, do you all think the performance will be the same in all the three types of connections? Will the performance be same in all the three types of connections: 5G, 4G, 3G?
No.
No, right? All of you agree? The performance will not be the same. So sometimes any application you take, let's say it is accessible throughout the globe. It is accessible throughout the globe. So people from different regions can access that application. Now, isn't it important for the application owner to understand that how is the performance of the application on different bandwidths? Because on different network bandwidth, the performance will vary. So it is very much essential to understand how the end user experience is when it comes to the performance. So the network is not the same in different regions, right? Now, if I compare India and US, in US the network is really faster than India, or not, guys? Similarly, if we
Yes.
consider some African nations where the 4G is not available yet, for example, so they will not experience the same performance as that of US or as that of India. Am I clear? So bandwidth throttling performance testing is also important, and that we are going to see how we can do it JMeter. Clear? Then I told
Sir,
you
I
about
have a
the,
question. I
yeah,
have a
tell me.
question. Like in interview, sometimes it asks like in distributed testing how you like incorporate the loads, like how much load each machines will be taking place. So like
Yes.
in that way we are getting stuck. So
Yes.
yeah.
So
So
remember, for that, it uh, the load. So in that case, when we say load, that is actually virtual users. How many users you can generate in each machine? That is basically the question. So it depends on the hardware configuration of the machines. Okay, we'll discuss that. It depends on the hardware configuration of the machines. So higher the hardware specification of the load generator machine, you will be able to generate more number of users or the higher load. Understood?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So we have different JMeter elements. We are going to discuss all those elements. What are their uses in details, guys? I will see the explanation. So basically, those elements are like test plan, some non-test elements, thread group, controller, sampler, config elements, assertion elements, timer elements. Okay, and then listener, preprocessor, post processor. Very important. What is the difference between pre-processor and post processor? It is a must question for JMeter, guys. So we'll discuss those in details. Then we'll dive into Groovy scripting. As I told you, you can do this custom coding with different scripting languages. As part of, we are going to cover Groovy. So introduction to Groovy and JSR 223. Then we'll see the different, things in Groovy like comment, print, variables. What are the Groovy operators, Groovy variables, and we'll see some real life examples, for Groovy, which we can do with JMeter. I'm also going to cover Dynatrace with this, guys. So we'll see the introduction to Dynatrace, and Dynatrace is a very good tool. From performance testing point of view, what all details you need in Dynatrace, that I'm going to cover as part of this training. So this training will also give you the understanding of Dynatrace and how you can integrate JMeter with Dynatrace. Let's say I give you a use case that in Dynatrace I only want to capture the request, or I want to analyze the request coming from JMeter only. Let's
Sir,
say
what
Dynatrace
is
is a,
Dynatrace, sir?
yeah,
So what is it?
Dynatrace.
Dynatrace.
Yes. Yes, I'm coming to that. So Dynatrace is a application performance monitoring tool, or nowadays it is called as the observability tool. So there is a new buzzword in the market, guys. Observability. Okay, it is nothing but the extension of application monitoring. Means your application is running on different servers, right? Someone has to monitor that. How is the CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk utilization? Those are from a hardware point of view. Now let's say you are getting slow performance for a particular user flow. Now how will I know that where actually the time is taking for that particular user flow? I am not going to the real terminologies, guys, like response time, okay, all those things now, because most of you would also be there who is not acquainted with uh, JMeter and performance testing. I'm trying to make you understand in a layman language. Later I'll go into those, because whoever is acquainted with performance testing, you might be thinking that I'm not going into the technical terms. I'm doing it with a purpose, because people in this training would not also be acquainted. So I'm trying to cater to everyone. I hope you all understand that. So when the performance gets slow or your servers become slow, at that point of time we need to know, right, what is the root cause. So remember the servers, you understand servers, right? The application you are using, let's say Facebook or WhatsApp or any other web application like Flipkart, Amazon, all they are running on some servers, right? So if the performance becomes slow, if the servers become slow, if the servers are not responding, okay, we need to know, right, what is happening in the background. So these application performance monitoring tools help us to monitor the application servers. So Dynatrace is one of the very useful tools in that. It is one of the market leading application performance monitoring tools. Understood? Clear? Okay. So I'm going to tell you how we can integrate JMeter with Dynatrace as well. Next, another very important is we also get these requirements in projects, InfluxDB and Grafana. So I'll explain you what is InfluxDB. I'll explain you what is Grafana. So I'll introduce them to you, and then we will see how we can integrate JMeter with InfluxDB and Grafana. So InfluxDB is a time series database. Grafana is a visualization tool. We will send data from JMeter to Grafana, guys, to view the results or view our execution details in the form of graphs, dashboards. Okay, so we'll see that in details. This is also very important topic, guys, how we can integrate JMeter with InfluxDB and Grafana. Then nowadays all of you know DevOps, right? CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment, right? So we have pipelines, not the pipelines through which water will flow, guys. Okay, in pipelines nowadays we have all the different tasks, like let's say automatically a build will be triggered, it will be deployed, and then the testing tasks will automatically get triggered. You don't have to go and do the manual testing over there. So those are the pipelines. I'll also explain you about CI/CD, versioning, okay, versioning concept, source code management, how we can do all those things. Then I'll introduce you to Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool using which, again, it is open source. So using Jenkins, you can create your pipelines, and it is very much necessary to know how we can integrate JMeter with Jenkins, because that is being implemented nowadays, guys. So I'll also explain you about JMeter integration with Jenkins. So these are the different topics, okay, which we are going to cover as part of the exclusive training JMeter beginner to master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. Any queries, anyone?
How long it will take, sir, to complete this full topics?
We'll cover these sessions in 45 to 50 sessions,
45.
around 2 months, 2.5 months. Okay, because
Okay, sir.
along with JMeter, I'm covering additional topics, but be assured, whoever is not aware of JMeter, also at the end of the training, you will become a master in JMeter. Okay, so we have proven it. The people have got the jobs also after taking the training with us. So there are so many testimonials. So, but yes, whatever queries you have, you can ask. I'm glad to resolve all your queries. Any queries, anyone?
Uh, yes, sir. Like we will we be going for like live like the project discussion, like project wise, how we'll be doing the performance testing?
Yes, so definite. So the application, see, all these phases I told you, everything will be practically demonstrated. Okay, every topic will be practically demonstrated, so you will know that how you can basically do the performance testing.
Okay.
Clear? Okay, any other
Uh,
queries, anyone?
yeah, one more question. Like in the interviews, like if they ask for like if there are 100 requests are there, so like how we will divide them into different threads, like how we will for testing the response time, and like for all the like what all scenarios we need to test in performance testing, so how we will conclude all the in all the threads, like how many threads will be taking for 100
Yes, so
transactions.
yes, so those
Yeah.
will be covered as part of workload model design and percentage user distribution. Those will be covered as part of the training. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, you said that scripting part you showed two things, right, sir? Something you showed J, something what's written was
Groovy
something was written.
scripting, Groovy scripting, and
Uh,
JSR
yes, sir.
223. You were saying?
Yeah, sir. What is that, sir? JS.
Yeah,
Uh,
JSR 223 is an element in JMeter. Okay, and Groovy is the scripting language, so you will understand it more later. So using the JSR 223 element, we'll use Groovy scripting for JSR 223 element.
and sir, you were
Now
saying something, and you told
it will,
something, mention something, sir. You were saying, sir.
yeah, there
What
are
is that?
there are other scripting languages supported by JMeter. like bin shell, okay, Java,
Yeah.
JavaScript, and
Yeah.
Groovy. As part of this
Okay.
training, we are going to cover Groovy because I cannot cover all the scripting languages in one training, right? So as part of this
Okay.
training, Groovy is covered. And why I have chosen Groovy? Because remember, JMeter is a product of the Apache Software Foundation. Okay, and Apache
Okay.
Software Foundation recommends to use Groovy with JMeter because obviously Groovy is also a product of the same Apache Software Foundation, but they have proven that the performance of Groovy is better than other scripting languages.
So this
So
Benshell is what, sir? It is also which scripting it will be using?
Binshell is also a scripting language. Groovy is a scripting language. Binshell is a
Oh,
scripting language. Understood? All these
okay.
scripting languages are supported in JMeter, but in as part of this training, we are going to
Mm.
cover Groovy.
And where we write this scripting, sir, in JMeter?
That you will see when I go to JMeter, right?
Okay.
Okay, everything you will do inside JMeter, don't worry. Okay,
Okay.
that is very advanced, guys. That is very advanced topic. Don't worry, we'll go to that. So we'll take baby steps, right? First, we'll become a beginner, then we'll become an advanced or master. Any other queries,
Sir, can
anyone?
we use POM in
Pom
JMeter?
pom.xml, you're saying dependencies where we define.
Yeah, yeah,
So
dependencies. Can we add
yes,
JMeter
when
dependencies
yes
there
you
and
can. So basically, using Maven and all, right? You can build JMeter, you can use POM, but then that you have to handle through custom coding. But here,
okay,
that we are not going to see. So, sorry,
that also we are going to cover or
no, that we are not going to cover here because that is in very rare cases, guys. That is in very rare cases where you are trying to implement JMeter completely using coding and all. But here we are going to learn about the tool, the one which you are referring to. That is very much advanced topic.
okay, that means can we use custom framework for that?
Yes, yes, you can develop your framework for JMeter. As I told you, JMeter is open source. Okay, you can do any custom coding in JMeter. You can do execute your tests through application code. You don't have to use the JMeter tool. Basically, using your own code. Okay, you can develop a framework for JMeter also, custom framework.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other queries, anyone?
Hi,
How
sir.
the job opportunities
Okay,
outside,
we'll go one by one. Yeah.
how the job
Yeah,
opportunities outside, sir? Is there any specific eligibility like year of experience while learning
Yeah.
this JMeter?
For Java, you are saying?
No, sir, like job opportunities.
For job opportunities, you are saying?
Uh,
Performance testing is a hot cake in the market. Okay, you all must be knowing that there are not there are no there are not sufficient performance testing engineers in the market. So at the end of this training, you can very well say that you have 2 years of experience in performance testing at the end of this training, guys. Okay, whatever experience is expected from a 2 years 3 years experience in JMeter, definitely at the end of this training you will be able to market yourself in the market, different companies, or in the website. Like you can go to the applications like Naukri, LinkedIn, update your profile, performance testing and all. And be assured, there is so much of opportunities in performance testing. Only thing required is your dedication to learn the tool. Very easy tool, guys. You attend the sessions sincerely, do the hands-on. At the end, you will become, very good experts in JMeter. And JMeter being an open source tool, it is used in most of the projects. Okay. Yeah, I think there was some other question as well.
Good morning,
yeah.
sir.
So my question was aligned to that only. So I'm around 8 years of experience in manual. So now it's looks like I'm stuck somewhere. So I thought to move ahead with the JMeter.
Yeah.
So
It
how
is the
will
right
that
time. I'll tell you. It is. Yeah. You complete your question. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. So that is the only thing, like having 8 years of experience and adding the experience in JMeter and moving ahead into the different companies. And with my current package, I need at some level need a higher package. So will that work all together?
Definitely, definitely. If you want
Okay.
to switch jobs, if you want to increase your package, performance testing gives you that opportunity. There are many examples where people have switched from functional testing to performance testing and they have seen immense growth in their career. Because in functional
Oh,
testing, after some point of time, the growth becomes stagnant. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And nowadays, we have so many automation, right? Everywhere you go, you will get requirement for automation or performance testing,
Yes.
I have also
right?
same question, sir.
Yeah, that is the
Sir, I have
reality,
also
guys. So,
same.
yeah, tell me.
Sir, same question what he asked, sir. So like
Yeah.
I have also, sir, like 10 years experience, sir. And like basically, so actually I switched my company to recently. So but I am into like not into manual testing totally. Like not doing manual, but I'm using JMeter for API testing, sir. So
Yes.
I'm doing the API automation using JMeter, but like not doing the performance testing. So sir, so can you tell me, sir, like this experience will how it will be like what is the
Yes.
use of will this experience is okay if like what I should go now, right? I'm totally confused
Yes.
because I was expecting to go with Selenium, but they put me on JMeter API testing, and like
Yes.
now what should I say? Like I'm totally blank right now. So I thought to learn JMeter with this also, so that I can like it will be good for my career. That was my
Definitely.
plan,
See,
sir.
okay, let me explain that to you, all of you. See, guys, you all have some good experience, maybe on functional testing or on automation testing, right? If you learn performance testing, you can brand yourself as a person with cross skills, multi skills. That is what companies are looking for nowadays, right? You will brand yourself as a test manager, you will brand yourself as a test lead who is aware of performance testing, who is aware of automation testing, who is aware of manual testing, right? So whatever may be the project, you will be able to completely handle the quality assurance part. The project will not need separate performance test lead, they will not need separate automation test lead. Am I clear? Are you getting my point? So definitely that will be helpful. So you understood how you want to brand yourself. You want to brand yourself as a test manager or a test lead with expertise in all the three things: performance testing, automation testing, functional testing, or let's say functional testing and performance testing. Clear?
Understood, sir.
Yeah. Any other queries?
Yeah, does JMeter uses external load generators or how it is
External load generator means, what do you mean?
to put the load on the application?
Yeah, so
Just like a new
load
load.
ge-
Uh, yeah.
so the we can have, if you want to ask, like, do we can we use multiple load generators, is that your question? Because when you say external load generator means in every performance testing tool, in the load generator machine, you have to either install the agent or the standalone, for example, load runner tool. So for load runner, you have to
Yes.
install the load generator component, right, in the load generator machine.
Right.
Otherwise, it
Right.
will not
Right.
work, right?
Yes.
Similarly, in JMeter also, I think that is your question, right? Means, can we use multiple load generators? When we say external,
No.
means multiple load
My
generators.
my question was how is the limit of the virtual users in the JMeters if we do not use these load generators?
No, the answer is, we can use multiple load generators. We can do test with 10,000 users. We can do test with 20,000 users. Okay, and for a specific load generator machine, what will be the number of users you can generate? That will depend on the hardware specification. We'll discuss them later.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, with this hardware specification, you will be able to use this many users, or you will be able to generate these many users. So based on that, you have to increase your load generators based on your target,
Yes.
right? But yes, the answer is you can use multiple load generators in JMeter. It's not that you will always do the test with a single load generator only.
Okay.
Okay. And okay, so
Good morning.
Uh,
Good morning, sir.
you tell me.
Did you give any homeworks like?
No, I think we are too much grown up, right? So I do not want to, be at a school. It is up to your responsibility, guys. That is what I'm asking. Be sincere, attend the sessions, whatever is covered every day, go back, do the hands-on that. That should be your homework. And yes, in every session, while I'm taking the sessions, I'll be asking you interesting questions. Will these sessions will be completely interactive, understood, so that you understand what I'm trying
Yeah,
to teach. You should apply your mind, because I'll be asking you tricky questions also during the sessions. And then we are also going to discuss about the interview questions. So these all should be enough, guys. Clear?
clear, sir, clear.
Sir, I have a question. Like, sometimes it's asked like whether you have been involved in NFR. So, like, what should be your first scope? So, in that way, like, how we need to respond it.
Yes, so all these questions will be covered, guys, don't worry. Okay.
And one last question, like, it is asking like how you incorporate like how much load we need to take, where it is described that in what how much
Yes.
load we need to take for this application, and how do we need to
All these,
test. So
I told you, all these things are generic questions. All these things will be discussed. Don't worry. And when these sessions are in progress, you will feel that okay, so these are the answers which I need to give. All these topics I'll be covering, guys. Don't worry. Understood?
okay,
But
sir.
I think your focus is more on the interviews. So our focus should be more on understanding the concepts, understanding the tool, and automatically you will be able to answer the questions. But yes, I'm going to discuss the different interview questions. Don't worry on that. Clear, all of you? Okay. So, are there any other queries, anyone?
Yeah, sir. Actually, I joined little late. At that time, you were saying that that is another course, something like you were saying, but I didn't understand what
Yeah, that
what.
is. Yeah, there were some questions related to project experience. Like people want to get a flavor, like they are working in a project. So in project we do different things, right? We do not only do test script development. We document test plan, right? We document test
Yeah, yeah,
strategy. So whatever activities we do, you want to get a feel of a real project, then in that case, we have a separate training, that is the real-time project with JMeter. That is what I
that
was
is
telling at that point.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. But that is available. I mean, that course is available.
That course is available by Isha. So you can reach out to your team, reach out to our team for further details.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Yes. But for that, knowledge on JMeter is a prerequisite.
Yeah, that I heard. That I heard.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, 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 sir. Yeah, sir. I missed that one.
No problem. Any other queries, anyone? So I think with due to shortage of time, we'll stop the session here today. I was thinking to start the topics today, but yes, we covered a lot of questions and all. So we'll start the topics in the next session, guys. So thank you all for joining. And if you have any queries, please feel free to post in the WhatsApp groups. Okay, do not hesitate. Ask your queries, then only you will get clarified. Okay, and it doesn't cost to ask a query, guys. Clear, all of you? So with this, we'll stop this session for today. Thank you all for joining. Hope you all enjoyed today's
Hi,
session.
sir. What are the timings?
The timings will be from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. IST, Monday to Friday.
Okay. And from when it is going to start?
So the team will let you know. Okay.
Okay. For I was asking related to the all the things for payment and all.
Sorry.
Related to payment, where to pay, I didn't
Yeah,
got any
yeah,
information.
you please ask it in the WhatsApp group. So, you will get the messages. Our team will reach out.
Okay.
Okay. All those details will be shared in the WhatsApp group.
Tomorrow there will be a session.
Tomorrow there will be a session, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.